Happy motherfucking Saturday.
Yay, got it right.
Well, normally we do this on Fridays. Last week we didn't do one at all because we both had shit going on and blah, blah, blah. It happens. It's happened before. It'll probably happen again. It is what it is. But, yes, I said we were going to do hockey. But we kind of have to forego that because opening day for Major League Baseball was Thursday.
Yes.
Which I have quite a bit to talk about. One, I have the first thing. I'm sorry, it's the first thing that we have to talk about. Do you know where I'm going with this?
Are we going to talk about the new rule changes?
No, we'll do that in a minute. I want to talk about the simple fact that your Chicago White Sox beat the defending World Series champions Houston Astros on opening day.
That was a damn good game, though. Sadly, the next two weren't as great, but you know.
It was. But still, it's like you got. I know it's just one game. I know it's one game. But when you can go out and beat the defending world champions, and their team really hasn't changed much at all. Most of their people came back. They're still the same team that they've been.
And you're a new first baseman.
Huh?
They have a new first baseman who used to play for the White Sox.
Okay, well, guess what? You still won.
Yeah.
3-2. 3-2. So I had to go into that.
No, I mean, there was a lot of surprise people that's there, and I've been still backing my White Sox. And when I said some stuff about, hey, they have potential if they get their shit together and stay healthy, that they could make a push for the playoffs. And you and, somebody else said that I was kind of crazy on that one. But yes, I'm a fanboy because that's my team. But, maybe. Again, I can't really say much right now because we are 1-2. But
right,
we still have other things. We got rid of our right fielder that we've had for the last 13 seasons. Now we have, a new person playing right field. That's fine. But our pitching was on point for our starting pitcher. Cease did 6.1 innings pitched. He had 2 hits, 1 earned run, and 10 strikeouts. It was fucking ridiculous.
It's not bad. That's not bad on opening day. Not bad at all. But, we do have to see if they can be consistent.
No, absolutely.
Because
it was close for the other 2 games as well. But it's just our bullpen is just lacking and giving up too much.
Well, you guys have been a lot like us in the last couple of years where it's been you're either really good or you're really bad. And there's been a severe lack of consistency. I mean, ever since we lost, Ortiz went and retired and Mookie Betts got traded. We suck.
I wouldn't say you suck. I mean, it's just, again, changing the lineups, getting the team that you need, and going from there. That is the hardest part.
I mean, that is true.
Our closing pitcher is still out because, of cancer aspects. So we don't even have our full closer right now. But with just the beginning of the season, let's shake all this off. We just got our players back because a lot of them were playing in the World Baseball Classic. So now we're playing as a team again. Get that chemistry back. Get all the stuff going.
I mean, I enjoyed watching the World Baseball Classic. I mean, fucking Japan.
That was a fucking team to recognize, man.
Shit.
Especially fucking the last, batters going against teammate versus teammate. Yeah.
Man.
That was crazy.
There's not enough good things I could say about Japan. Puerto Rico had they were a damn good team. Mexico surprised the shit out of me because they were in there to the end. that World Baseball Classic was definitely something else. I always enjoy watching the World Baseball Classic. It's always fun to watch. You're gonna see a lot of cool shit. And
A lot of dumb shit too. Like let's put a an 18-year-old that has not much experience. Let's put them out there and play against these professional American team. You barely
that's
make
a
an
good idea. Fuck it. Let's roll with it. Shit. I mean, we got all these whacked out rule changes now. Let's just do this too. I mean, it's not as crazy as some of these rule changes we got. So, fuck it.
Do you want to run through like the opening day scores? Do you want to just skip that?
Yeah.
And go through?
Yeah,
All right,
we'll go through it.
let's just fire off some of these. So we have the Pirates versus the Cincinnati Reds, which, by the way,
that was a good game. I watched that game.
Yeah, and it was close. It was 5-4. But
Yeah.
again, the starting pitcher fucking throwing 105 miles an hour. That's your starting pitcher, and consistently was going above 100. Very good game. Again, bullpen was not as tight as it needs to be, and I'm giving the game up. And I gotta say, Reds opening day for being in Cincinnati. Traffic sucks, by the way, because of how much they shut down downtown because of the big Finley Market parade that they have. Like there was so many people, and back roads was just a nightmare. But Pirates ended up winning that game 5-4. We already talked about the White Sox. The Braves went ahead and beat the Nationals 7-2.
Yeah.
The Yankees blanked the Giants, and for the first home run of the year, the Judge came
Aaron
up,
Judge, yep.
knocked the fuck out of it. So they won 5-0.
I wanted him so bad on my fucking fantasy baseball team.
I wanted a lot of players on my fantasy baseball team, but I didn't get that choice.
You know what? I set the date way back, and I didn't even think to look on what day it fell.
Little side story.
It's partially my fault. It's partially my fault. Partially my fault. I'm sorry.
It's fine. I got to give you shit, buddy. Okay. Partly side note for our fans, we are in a fantasy league. We do stuff for baseball, for football, and I'd go to
and hockey.
Yeah, we're gonna get into hockey for the next season when that stuff jumps up. But I do schooling 2 nights a week, and that just happened to be at nighttime, and it was on one of my school nights. So it's like, do I draft my fantasy team or do I finish my schooling? And it's like, by the time I got done with class and was home, it's like, I'm going to bed because I had to get up super early the next morning. But I just keep giving Dustin shit. It's fun.
I'm actually in the championship for both hockey and basketball right now, by the way.
Cool. I'm not in either one of those with you, so it's fine.
Okay.
All right. Going up next, the Orioles fucking slapped Boston 10-9, really. It wasn't really a slapping.
That's not slapping.
I know. I had to say it that way. But no, it was really fucking close on that one. Orioles had 15 hits in that game. Red Sox had 11, but still, a 10-9 game. There was 2 errors for the Orioles, 1 error for Boston. The Cubs went ahead and blanked out the Brewers 4-0. Cubs are actually rebuilding their team, and they're looking pretty decent. And for me not being a Cubs fan, it's hard for me to say that one.
I know. I'm sitting there looking at you like, really?
Yeah, I
know. Really?
The Tampa Bay Rays blanked the Tigers 4-0. Both teams had 6 hits, so it was not a crazy game. But the Rays came out as the big winners.
I heard the Rays are good this year. Like,
we'll see.
Good.
They have their moments. They get like some nobody players, and then they start to make a run at it, and then they crumble. And sadly, hopefully that's not the case, but we'll see. The Texas Rangers beat.
This one's surprising.
Really, the Texas Rangers beats the Philadelphia Phillies 11-7. And especially they had 11 runs off of 10 hits. So, of course, there had to be a walk and stuff like that for them to get a higher number. But they do have some players that are hurt right now, so they're not a full team yet.
Still, the Rangers beating the Phillies.
I mean,
I didn't see that coming.
you're still missing one of your star outfielders. He's still on the disabled list right now. He'll be coming back soon. And again, it's the first game of the season. It could be a huge change, but we'll see on that one.
Did not see that coming.
We have the Minnesota Twins beat the Royals 2-0.
That's not surprising.
I mean, I'm not a Twins fan either, but I don't really care for the Royals.
I mean, I hate every fucking team that comes from Kansas City, but it is what it is.
I dislike a lot of teams that come from Minnesota, so that's just my opinion.
Yeah, mine's Kansas City. I hate every goddamn team that comes from Kansas City. Fuck them all. Fuck them all.
Okay. So the Mets beat the Marlins 5-3, and the Mets are going to be a decent team to be looking at this year. More than decent, honestly.
I mean, they damn near went to the World Series last year, so
and they picked up some good players. So they were spending some money in the offseason. They wanted some backup, and they want to go the distance. Then we have the Blue Jays beat the Cardinals 10-9. Blue Jays had 19 hits. Cardinals had 15. What the fuck? Like that's a good game.
Yeah.
The Colorado Rockies played the Padres. They beat the Padres 7-2.
That one was shocking. I did not see that coming.
Again, you don't have your full squad. Your Tatis is still suspended. So, Manny had one hit. He striked out twice. Soto, their left fielder, had 0 hits. So, I mean, Matt Carpenter, who's went over there, had 1 RBI, 0 hits. So he had a sacrifice fly.
Right.
Again, first game of the season. You don't have like your better player that's there because of suspension. I'm not too surprised right now about that one.
Okay.
Then we had the Los Angeles Angels against the Athletics. Athletics beat the Angels 2-1.
I'm a little surprised. I'm a whole lot surprised by that.
Yeah, the Athletics have not been that great for a while. So maybe they're putting a decent team together. Let me look at this lineup and see if there's anybody. The
Angels
that I know.
got 2 of the best players in the league.
Is it sad that I'm looking at the lineup right now for the Athletics and I don't know any of those players?
I mean, not really. Nobody knows shit about the Athletics other than they're supposed to be moving to Vegas.
Right. All right. So Mike Trout in this game had 0 hits. Ohtani had 1 hit, 1 base on balls. He striked out twice. Let's see. Brandon Drury had no hits. So there wasn't a lot going on in this game. Total wise, the Angels had 5 hits. Oakland had 6. 1 error on Oakland's part, but they ended up still winning the game. All right, then we've got 2 more left. We've got the Dodgers. It was a power horse.
The fucking dog shit out of the.
They did.
Diamondbacks.
Yeah, they beat them 8-2. Dodgers had 12 hits. Both teams rounded out with 1 error each, and it's Dodgers want to be out there too.
Obviously. The Diamondbacks, I don't know really what to say about the Diamondbacks.
I don't know much about the Arizona teams, really. They just kind of stay on the wayside for baseball, football, hockey.
So, true enough. Well, the Cardinals were the Super Bowl one time.
Yeah. When was that again? And who was their quarterback? Oh, yeah, Kurt Warner. It's been a while.
Kurt Warner.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And it was against Pittsburgh Steelers, and they lost.
Yep, and I was actually rooting for the Cardinals at that time.
I was too. And I believe that was the mid 2000s, what 2005-ish, somewhere around there.
Somewhere around
there. Yeah, somewhere around there.
Well, 05 was wasn't that the Bear? No. I'll have to pull that up. So I'll look that up in just a minute, so that way we can finish this up with the last score for the opening day.
Go with it.
The Seattle Mariners beat the Gardeners. I want to say
The Gardeners.
Yeah, that's all they were doing. They weren't doing shit.
The Mariners beat the Gardeners. I'm like,
Exactly.
the Gardeners? Is that a
still-
new expansion team?
Well, I still want to call them the Indians, and then I'm like, I just don't feel right saying the Guardians, so it's just like the Gardeners. I feel terrible about that one, but it was funny. It was fucking funny. I'm sorry.
I don't
need to
know
get a
what's
kick out of it.
worse, the Gardeners or the Indians.
I would take the Indians any day. I mean, I never really saw
Same.
much about that shit.
Same. The major league movies had me almost being an Indians fan when I was a kid because I loved the fucking major league movies. I don't know if y'all ever watched those, but I loved the fucking major league movies.
What's going on, Don? Nice to see
What
you.
up, Donald? So yeah, the major league movies were fucking great. I mean, okay, so what would be your favorite baseball movie? And then there's been a shit tons of them.
Ooh.
Of course, you're gonna put the Sandlot up there as probably a top 5 easily.
Absolutely. Well, of course, those are good movies. Why not?
I love the major league movies.
Bull Durham is always a great one. Sandlot is fun to watch. They put
Good
it
job. Which Donald, by the way, not cutting you off. Donald actually coaches a little league baseball team, and they won tonight. So
Yes.
good job.
Sorry, Blackhawks just scored a goal. It's now
Oh.
time 1. So Bull Durham, Sandlot,
Bad News Bears.
I wouldn't put that in there for sure.
Really? You wouldn't put the Bad News? I mean, I don't care about the sequels. I'm talking about like the original, like the very first one.
I like that. For the love of the game, I'm a big fan of that one. Let's just see the ones that are actually, I'm trying to remember the eight man out. The one about the 1991 series was great.
Field of Dreams.
The Field of Dreams is right up there.
Yeah.
So I think that classifies as that, but
even though it's about women's softball, I loved A League of Their Own.
That was a great one too. You know what? We could still put that in there. So
yeah, it's still baseball.
Right.
Yeah, I love League of Their Own. By the way.
So do I.
Just saying. Tom Hanks. I mean, almost anything Tom Hanks is going to be good. So just go with it. By the way, if y'all have time, go check out some of our sponsors: Dubby, Reaper Apparel, and True Victory.
Oh yeah, I didn't get to show you this. You know.
Okay. I actually wore mine to the gym today, so I was not able to.
It's
wear
all hot and sweaty.
Yeah, so if you guys want to, you can use coupon code Tailgate Kings, all capital letters, with any of those companies, and you will get 10% off your order, and it helps us out. So it would be amazing if you did that at some point.
Absolutely. And yeah, Angels in the Outfield, that's a good one too. What's the one about the kid that played for
good one?
What the kid that played for the Cubs?
Rookie
of the Year.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good one.
Now we're expanding to top 10 on like baseball movies, but
I think my favorite's still Major League.
I mean, it's good. Which one has the energy drinks? That would be Dubby.
Yeah, that's Dubby. Yeah, I gotta go with Major League being my favorite. I got to. I love fucking Charlie Sheen and that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Loved it.
They were good.
I could quote so much fucking shit from that damn movie. Of course, if I quoted some of it, we would get banned forever. But so I can't quote some of it.
But, I'm sorry, but just Field of Dreams for me and Bull Durham's like my top 2, at least.
Okay. Yeah, Field of Dreams is good. I like Field of Dreams. So moving on, let's just do this. Let's just do this.
Which one are we doing?
So, opening day's over. We've had a few days in the baseball. Let's just do World Series picks now.
There's only 30 games.
Before the season really starts. We've always done this.
But there's 3 games in. I mean,
So what?
you have
Let's
161.
have some fun. Go with it. Go with it.
Son of a bitch.
I know I am.
And we don't talk about this ever before the show, so you will always drop this on me at last minute.
I do.
Because I expect us to have a little bit more preparation in that one, but you just like throwing a fucking curveball at me.
I mean, this is baseball, so I mean.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I say it that way.
Oh, okay.
I mean, the Dodgers are still good. I'd say that they're a hell of a chance to go. Yankees are still looking scary, but the Mets are right there in the lineup. So, all right, I'm going to throw out like 2 different scenarios, okay? Just because.
Okay.
I'm going to say for the American League, for our scenario 1, we have the Yankees versus, let's just say the Dodgers. And I say, Yankees pull that off, my opinion. And then for my whimsical scenario, because, I think that's a better option. I can't even pull the White Sox in for that one just to be funny, but I would say Yankees and the Mets would be like the other one, and that would be a close matchup. But in all logic, those would be the 2 that I would say would be Yankees no matter what, but up against either the Mets or the Dodgers.
Y'all might as well put this down because this has never happened before on our show, ever.
You're going to agree with me?
I actually agree with you. For the first time ever on this show.
We've agreed numerous times on different scenarios, but we've never agreed on the picks for who's going to win it all.
No.
So, okay, sure, you can say that aspect, but you've agreed with me on different occasions.
Sometimes.
Yep, expect the unexpected.
Yes.
Sure. Well, I mean, there's a good chance of that.
I'm gonna go with if it's down to the Yankees and Mets, I would actually go with the Mets winning it.
You think they'd pull it out?
Like it would be like Game 7 scenario.
Okay. Well, on that aspect, if it went down to it, I would say Yankees would pull it off. You're saying that the Mets would. So we'll have like a little side bet somewhere on that one. And if it gets to that, then that's crazy. Then, we'll figure something fun out of what I'll pay if you win and what you'll pay if I win. Little gifts. Nothing crazy.
Okay. Well, a hat.
Okay. So
you win, I'll buy you a Chicago White Sox hat.
Okay.
There you go.
And if you win, I'll buy you a Boston hat. That's fine.
Okay. Done deal. All right. We're going to be right back. We're going to have one little word from one of our sponsors, True Victory, and we'll be right back.
If you aren't perfect, if you've ever struggled, if you've ever failed, if you want to get better, be better, and make our world better, this is the perfect brand for you. True Victory. Founded by U.S. military veterans, True Victory is a sportswear and streetwear brand dedicated to building everyday champions on and off the field. We're a cause. Our purpose is to transform lives and elevate humanity through the power and unity of sports, positive stories, and serving others. We're dedicated to the game, the grind, and the globe. But most importantly, we're dedicated to you. That's what it means to be always true.
Once again, you can use our code Tailgate Kings, all capital letters, 10% off. And let me tell you, again, and I always say it, is literally the most comfortable fucking shirt I've ever wore in my life. I mean, it is. It's my favorite shirt.
I'm pretty comfortable in mine, but that's
I have to buy more. Well, the Reaper apparel shirts are nice too. They are, but it's the True Victory ones are really created for athletes, and they are amazing. And I'm definitely buying more. And as soon as I get paid, I'm buying more because they're fucking awesome. Anyways, moving on with our discussion. So next, let's do. Let's go with the top 11 moments of opening day.
Okay.
I'll let you start out.
Right. Let's do this one here because I didn't have that. So the top 11 moments was, of course, Aaron Judge picks up right where he left off with hitting a monster homer. That man is just going to be scary for the next few years. Yeah, it is Aaron Judge. And that whole contract dispute, like they were talking, and where was he going to go in the offseason? He signs back with the Yankees. You know, I hope he finishes his career with the Yankees. That's where he needs to be. But, you know,
I mean, he's kind of like, to me, I kind of feel like he's like the Yankees, like Chipper Jones. How Chipper was back when we were kids for Atlanta.
Right.
I would say that Aaron Judge is comparable to Chipper Jones.
Yeah, but, you know, Chipper Jones was more of an infielder. Aaron Judge is an outfielder.
Well, yeah, he's third base.
Right. But
still, it's just the comparable talent. Not really like position based, but
right.
Just a all around talent from playing their position to being a hitter. You know, they're both very comparable in nature. So
you can say the same thing about Bo Jackson, you know, compared to and stuff like that.
No, Bo Jackson was a fucking beast and was just this god of fucking baseball, and I don't give a fuck. I am a Red Sox fan, but I will love fucking Bo Jackson forever. Him and Frank Thomas, I don't give a fuck. I was huge fans of both of them. I'm still fans of them today. I would still buy a Chicago White Sox jersey if it was Frank Thomas or Bo Jackson. Sorry, I fucking would.
No, it's completely understandable. I mean, that's fine.
Don't give a shit. Do not care. Actually, I guess if you had to say that I had a second favorite team, I would. I love the White Sox. I've never hated them strictly because of Frank Thomas and Bo Jackson.
Okay.
I was always big, even Jesse Ventura. I was a big fucking Jesse Ventura fan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you guys had a lot of fucking players that I looked up to when I was a kid and playing Little League baseball and stuff like that. I mean, Ozzie Guillen and I mean, so fucking many others that I was huge fans of.
Right.
So I guess if I did have a second favorite team, it would be the White Sox. Just saying.
You're just a Sox fan entirely. That's all it is. It's understandable.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if they're red or if they're white. It's fine.
Okay. Well, yeah. Let's go with that.
Yeah. Let's go into number 2 for opening day moments. Ohtani. I mean, the man's calling his own pitches and telling the catcher and the infielders now what the fuck he's doing. So
I had to draft him. He was my very first pick.
Well, I mean, it's a good choice. You have him as an option of a starting pitcher, and then you can put him in as an outfielder, so you're getting him for everyday use. So now they've had to retool. They had to retool the structures for all these fantasy teams because now when you have them, because you weren't able to actually have a player that was a pitcher be as your batter, as a utility or anything like that. But because he's a great two-way player, even the baseball games for, like video games are now having it when you go into create your own players. Are you a two-way player now because they want people to start playing like him? And I get it. It's fucking phenomenal.
I keep hearing the same. Okay, so this is a good debate. I read the other day that somebody said that he is probably the best player of this generation. And I even seen some go as far as calling him the best baseball player ever. Ever.
I say give it a few more years, and I will make my comment on that one. As of right now, I wouldn't say he's the best player ever. I mean, there's been a lot of great players that we've seen in our generations. I mean, do we put him above Cal Ripken, Mr. Iron Man? I don't know. Like you have a great two-way player of pitcher and hitter. Okay.
Well,
But
I think that's the argument, is because most of the players that have been great players are only known for like one thing, whether it's their position or a batter or whatever. It's always been one thing that they've been really well known for. And that's why a lot of people are trying to argue that he's the best all around well-rounded player that's ever been. And I'm like, I don't know if I would go that far.
no, because I mean,
I
hell,
mean,
even
he's really good, but I mean, you've had players like
Babe Ruth. Come on.
yeah,
That's
I
the
mean,
first name
Babe
that
Ruth.
comes out. You've got other pitchers that have been out there that have been, damn good players. And they've used pitchers before and put them into the outfield when their benches are short, for different games. And then that's a different aspect. You've had what was it, Carlos Zambrano that used to play for the Cubs. The guy was a damn good pitcher, had a hell of a temper, and my dad always made the comment that he's got a switchblade in his pocket just waiting to go. I mean, that man fucked up so many Gatorade containers and stuff just because of his anger. But I mean, he could go up there.
I mean, look at other great players. You got Mike Piazza,
right?
Probably one of the best catchers in the game, but he could fucking hit like nobody's fucking business too.
But hold on, let's just say he's playing more of the defensive side as a catcher or something like that. You're not putting him in as a pitcher. So this is what I was, saying. So, and people would actually put Zambrano in. Let me just finish this little section. As a pinch hitter because he was damn good. Mike Leake. There's quite a few other pitchers that were out there that were damn good hitters, and they would use them as pinch hitters if they needed to. And then sometimes they'd leave him in the outfield for different stuff. But because of the numbers and what he's doing right now, is he at the top of the list? Yeah, he's definitely in contention of it. But let's just wait a few more years. I don't want him to be like a hot commodity right now. And then in a couple of years go, oh, well, something happened and he just doesn't
I'm
keep
literally
up
seeing people state that this guy could be put at any position and be the best at that position.
Bullshit.
That's just, I mean, I'm not saying that, but that is what I'm reading whenever I'm like going through this stuff, and I'm literally watching people put comments on this guy, and they're just like, he's the hottest baseball player ever. Ever. That would be the Boston Red Sox there, bro.
I mean, would he be good in the outfield?
I know it's confusing because it's baby blue, but it's the All-Star hat.
Mine's the Father's Day hat, so I love one.
They changed their colors for, I think this is the what year was this? 99. So 1999. It's the 99 All-Star hat. So sorry to be confusing, but I just wanted to wear something different today.
That's fine. But in this aspect, let's put him in like, okay, him playing outfield, that's fine. Putting him at first base, third base, I think he could, be good at that. But I don't know. Second base, shortstop, he probably has the speed for it. Okay. But I don't see him being much of a catcher. I just don't see that. Could he play a majority of the outfield positions? Yeah.
I mean, maybe, but we are better than the Reds, being that the fact that the Reds just lost to the Pirates. Just saying.
I mean, they did win today, though.
Who'd they play today?
The Pirates. The first 3 games is against the Pirates.
Oh, they did win today?
Yeah, they lost the first game, but it was close. But they ended up winning big today. They had a walk-off homer, I believe, from their outfielder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was 6-2 today. So,
ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch. Yikes.
Sorry, it wasn't a walk-off. Fraley homered in the 6th. That's what it was. So, and ended up getting.
Well, I guess he had to make up for it because he was the one that got struck out for the Pirates to win the first game.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, like, it was a windy ass motherfucking day today. It was. And Jonathan India hit a homer to left field, and at the time it was blowing in like 5 miles an hour from the left field in. Newman homered to the left. Tyler Stevenson scored, so that was 3-1 at the time. And then Fraley homered. So the Reds, and it's funny because everything on the radio recently has been talking about how this team here, now the win possibly helped, but everything going on with this one, they were talking about how the Reds are not a power horse, that they're going to have to play small ball and do all this. I'm like, there's 3 fucking home runs right there from Jonathan India, who they said, oh, he's not worried about his power this year. It's just, getting contact and doing that. You got 3 players that just hit the home runs that won them the game. But
speaking of the Reds and old Reds members, since we're just doing all out baseball and we already went through the kind of the first games, did you see that Ken Griffey Jr. is now playing baseball again? Not in the majors, though. He is playing in the minors.
I didn't see all that. I mean, they're talking about reports because the Reds are still paying part of his contract after all these years. So he's still one of the top players for the Reds being paid right now. And he's retired.
Well, he's now playing in the minors. He just signed a contract about a week ago.
I mean, he's already been voted into the Hall of Fame. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't reset his clock. So if he goes to do that, then all right, power to him. Bring him in as a DH. He's going to knock it out of the park. I think he still has speed, but the guy's in his 50s.
Right. See, I feel like that's a ticket grab.
Yeah.
I feel like that's why they signed him. I feel like that's a ticket grab to sell tickets for whatever fucking minor league team he's playing for.
Mm-hmm.
It's a ticket grab.
I've got to see him play, here.
I mean, do you really think any baseball fans that are under our age even know who the fuck Ken Griffey Jr. is?
Yeah, people still know who the kid is. They still have all that. And even, again, playing MLB The Show, which just dropped, and I love that game, by the way. They have, you can get Ken Griffey Jr.'s socks. You can get his cleats. There's Michael Jordan stuff that's in there. So even to this day, you can still get, their aspects of it because of what they did for the game. Not Michael Jordan, but I'm just saying right there you have Mike Trout's socks and shoes right next to Ken Griffey Jr. And Griffey has been out of the league for years. But seeing him play in Cincinnati was great. Then I was excited when the White Sox were decent at that time and they traded him to the White Sox because he wanted to go and try to win a World Series, but we end up not making it that year, sadly. But it was cool to see. It was cool to see Ken Griffey Jr. in a White Sox uniform, and we also had the ex outfielder for Boston too. What the hell is his name? Had dreads. Fuck. Help me out here. Boston outfielder helped him win a couple World Series. I can't believe I'm blanking on this one. It's pissing me off.
I'm blanking on it, and I shouldn't be.
So I'm expecting you to tell me.
You talking about David Ortiz?
No. Ortiz didn't play for Chicago. No, Manny. Manny got picked up by the White Sox.
Oh, yeah.
So it was Manny and it was Ken Griffey Jr. were playing for the White Sox that season.
Ken Griffey Jr. played for the White Sox?
Yes, they got traded from the Reds to the White Sox because the White Sox were a contender at that time, and we ended up not making it to the end. But yes, Ken Griffey Jr. played for the White Sox, and then after that, he went back and played for Seattle, and he finished his career out there.
Gotcha. I'm actually trying to find, because I seen it on Facebook, which we all know how Facebook is. Shit could be fucking bullshit. I'm actually not seeing anything where Ken Griffey Jr. actually signed with a minor league team, but I did see it posted.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff off of TikTok and Facebook that I just look at. I'm like, okay, and I don't pay much attention to it.
I try to just to see if it's legit or not, and this was actually a week ago that I actually seen that, but I didn't really pay very close attention to it other than something about Ken Griffey Jr. is coming out of retirement to play for some minor league team, and I'm like, good, maybe.
So
Possibly.
Ken Griffey played for the White Sox. So they played with the Reds in 2008, and then they traded him before the trade deadline. And so he played for the White Sox in 2008.
Okay. I mean, I'm not finding anything on the internet that's saying that he is doing the minor leagues again.
Like I said, I haven't heard anything, and especially being in this town, you would think because anything with him comes up and talks about.
Right. So. I don't know. I'm not seeing nothing. So maybe it's just somebody trying to get some fucking clickbait going on or something. Who knows?
And you love all that shit.
Some sports website, I'm sure. They like to make shit up. Just like I seen the other day that somebody said that fucking Ezekiel Elliott was signing with some XFL team, and I'm like, I don't know about that, but I do know that every team he was trying to go to has turned him down. So,
right.
I don't know. Maybe it's not that far-fetched.
I mean, that's a possibility, but it's still too early to say that. I mean, he's not going to go and play, for the NFL and then instantly switch over and play for the XFL. My opinion.
True. So who do you think right now, starting, fresh season, who's probably the best all-around player? I know we've been talking about teams, but who's the best all-around player? Because we've already talked about Ohtani a little bit. I kind of feel like you got to throw his teammate Mike Trout into that equation. What about Acuna? Everybody loves fucking Acuna from Atlanta.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm not going to put on like who's the best of the games of that anymore because there's so many different players that are different aspects of it. But Freddie Freeman's still considered one of the top ones of the game, and it just every team has different aspects of it. But right. I don't.
It's like I tell people, to me, two of the most difficult sports, and to be a professional in it, to me would be hockey and baseball. They have the most levels of farm teams and minor leagues out of any other sport. It's by far two of the most competitive to become a professional, in the actual pros. And I know they call being in the minors pros, but I'm talking about pro, like you are with a major league baseball team or you are with a national hockey league team. Not ECHL, not AHL, not, all these little farm teams that they got with baseball, shit like the fucking Savannah Bananas and shit where they're out there dancing and fucking throwing shit. I'm talking pro. But the levels to get there are pure fucking insanity.
Yeah.
Because you don't have that with other sports. Now, basketball's starting to get that way. They actually now have farm teams for basketball, which they did beforehand, but it's really starting to become a big thing now with basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've heard rumors of the NFL using the XFL and all that shit as farm teams. So I guess they kind of always have been, because the Kurt Warner story right there. He was signed from playing, what was it, arena football?
Right.
When it first came out, he played what was the Iowa Barnstormers or some shit like that.
I mean, that was out for a while, but it wasn't as like major of a thing. So
I think it was only in its second or third year whenever he started playing for the Arena Football League. It was still a relatively new thing. I believe. But I don't know. I could be wrong. But I'm pretty sure it was pretty relatively new.
I will look that up.
And now you've got the Canadian Football League and the XFL and the USFL, and I believe there's a European Football League that's not soccer. That's actual American football. So, I mean, I guess it is getting more competitive, but I guess where I'm kind of going with this is if you make it to the majors, you're already a badass. But to be put up there in the upper echelon of baseball players that are playing in the majors, it's kind of hard. You almost have to go position by position because every position is so different as far as skill sets are concerned. And I was actually watching an interview with Deion Sanders the other day, him and Shannon Sharp. And Shannon asked him, he said, out of all the sports you've ever played, what is the most difficult sport to you? And he immediately said baseball. Baseball is by far the most difficult sport I have ever had to play.
Yeah.
So for us to even name players, that's pretty intense.
I mean, I'm not saying football is easy, right? So,
well, no sport is easy, especially if you're playing at the professional level.
Right. And you're going out there and running in at the speed you're going, trying to catch the ball, trying to stop the wide receiver from catching the ball, being a running back, doing anything like that. There's a lot of toll on it. But in the aspect of it, you can run in the outfield, infield, catch a ball, to have to make a throw and be on point. Okay. The hardest part is your hitting, your timing, because now you've got, pardon me, I got the hiccups again. Every time we do this, I start talking too much and just get the hiccups. So trying to hit a curveball, trying to hit a changeup, a knuckleball, again, we have pitchers now that are throwing 100+ miles an hour, more and more. A few years ago, you only had one pitcher that was really hitting that, and that was Aroldis Chapman, and he came in as a closer. Wanted to be a starter, but just didn't have the durability to be a starter. And so you're looking at stuff like that, getting 106 miles an hour, but then you have starting pitchers now throwing upwards of 30 pitches in hundreds. The Reds pitcher, Hunter Green, was it Green or is it? I'm trying to think. Just going lights out on that, and batters now are not even flinching. They're making contact at 100 miles an hour.
Right.
I mean, I got to tell you, playing softball and stuff like that was going to the slow pitch was brilliant. We'd go to the batting cages. And then one day we were all brilliant, like, hey, let's go to the fast pitch one. And that shit was coming so quick. And that was at like 70 miles an hour to 80s.
Yeah. And you got to think about your hand and eye coordination.
Right.
That it takes to hit this little fucking ball that's about the size of the palm of your hand. And it's coming at you in speeds of over 100 miles an hour.
Oh, absolutely. And especially if they can get a little bit of movement on that, it's not just a straight ball anymore. You've got like a fastball curve that just dips at that speed. But
if you also think about this point is that ball's coming at you over 100 miles an hour, and you hit it with a fucking wooden bat. How fast do you think it's ripping off that fucking bat?
111 miles an hour sometimes.
And for these infielders or a pitcher to just reach up and boom.
The reaction times have to be, instant. You have not even a second before the ball's from there to there.
Split second.
Right. And that's how you have to move. You have to know if your bat's going to be high or if you got to reach for it, if you're going to be low or is it going to be here, and you're trying to go. And there's this much of a sweet spot on the bat,
right?
That much. And that's just the crazy part of how much coordination and everything that goes into being a batter. And especially now with these new rule changes with, 15 seconds on the clock, just going up there just as a batter with nobody on base, and then having 20 seconds with a base runner.
See, I do not, and we're going to talk about getting into the new rules, and which we can actually bring that in now and kind of end the show on that. Here's my biggest concern about some of these rules. One of my biggest concern is the pitching clock, Because here's the thing. Don't you think that you're going to wear out that pitcher's arm a lot faster?
No. Because you're getting more into a rhythm. So you're not letting your arm sit there and rest as much. So you're able to be more consistent.
You
And
think so? You don't think it's going to make them more prone to injury?
no, I think that it's going to be a lot more consistent because you've had many pitchers throughout the years that have been on a consistent basis that go a little bit faster. And then you have some that take their dear sweet time, that walk the mound after every pitch. And it's just like, okay, they're trying to speed up the game because they want to bring this back to America's game again. So they're trying to get a lot more of the younger generation to watch. And there's a lot of people you talk to. It's like, hey, do you watch baseball? Well, only when I go to the games in real person because it's boring to watch it on TV. Now, I love watching it. I'll put any game on baseball, hockey, football, as long as it's not Minnesota.
It's also like Kansas City.
Right. So, in those aspects, I could put any game on. I'm very intrigued with the sport, and I love the games. And I have no problem going. There's people that don't want to wait till the last pitch to stay for the game. They leave in the before the 7th because of the longevity. Right now, they're saying with this pitch clock, they're saving on average about 23 minutes, give or take, per game. So they're staying under 30 hours as a minimum. I think the one day they're saying 2 hours and 40 minutes was like one of the shorter games for spring training. So that's allowing the game to go a lot faster. That's keeping people more intrigued with it. It's killing some things, though, because now with the broadcasters, if you're doing radio or if they're doing the live feed where you're watching it, there's a lot more to it. They don't get to break the game down as much anymore because now you have 15 seconds between pitches, give or take. You don't have the same stories on the radio as you've had some with the great broadcasters. Now they have to keep it shorter, sweeter, and just keep the game going along. So you're more involved. And that's one of the main reasons for this is to keep the pitchers going, more consistent pitching in theory, and then going from there. And with that process, they've had to change some other stuff. They didn't want the major shifts anymore. The infielders cannot touch the grass anymore. So you can't have a weird shift and do all that. So they're trying to create an aspect to help the pitchers. They're trying to create an aspect to help the batters because they're not going to be able to shift as frequently on you. With this, then, and everything, because they can only throw over twice with a person on base. If the pitcher throws to the, let's say, first base, they only gets 2 times per at bat.
Right.
So, that creates more opportunities. Now you're not able to just keep delaying the game and just throwing over. And with that one for opening day, they had 21 or 29 stolen bases for opening day as a whole for the league, compared to like a lower number of like 5.
Right.
So the numbers are increasing. It's making the game again more fascinating, exciting, because they're moving left and right. They're doing this and trying to create more opportunities. That's why they've made the bases a little bit bigger. So that way they might have more of a closer play. So your base runner can be on, the game can continue and move on further.
Yeah, well, I guess it's going to be kind of hard to say whether they helped or not out of just 1 year. I think this is going to be we're going to have to watch it for several years and see how it affects the game, whether it's a positive effect or a negative effect. Whether some of these are going to make, people prone to injury, because that's the one thing I'm seeing the most is the pitching clock. And everybody's saying that this is going to make pitchers more prone to long-term injuries. So I guess we're going to see.
I mean, this has been going on. Some of these rule changes have been in place already in the minors. Now they're just bringing it to the major leagues again to try to bring more value to Major League Baseball.
I mean, I get why they're doing it. So I totally get.
There's high schools that right now don't even have enough kids that want to play baseball to have the varsity team going. So they want to get more people brought in and excited about baseball and keep the generations going because it's getting slimmer. Everybody wants to go play basketball. They want to play football. They see the paydays. Now MLB has hell of great paydays on some of these things too, but like people don't want to go for the same aspect of that. So these rule changes are coming in, they're tweaking and going on. If the batter's not in the box at the proper time and paying attention to the pitcher, you get an aspect of that. So it's an automatic strike. If the pitcher doesn't throw the ball when the clock is at 0, or if you're not in motion when the clock is 0, it gives the batter a ball.
Right.
And then whoever's on base moves to the next base. It's basically like a balk. So they're just trying to create more opportunities, more excitement for the game, and move forward. And it's taking that time away from the batter. They don't have to do their rituals as much any longer. I mean, there's some batters that would sit there and undo their gloves twice, and had to fix their hat and do everything else. Johnny Gomes was notorious for it. He played for Boston.
Right.
So they're not allowing that anymore to just make the game more fluid.
Okay. Well, on that, boys and girls, we are going to fucking end it. We'll be back. Should be Friday, maybe Saturday, whatever day we decide on.
We might talk hockey, we might talk baseball, we might talk football. Who knows? We'll find out when we go to do it.
Yeah. Well, it's We'll figure it out. It'll be something.
As always.
But we love you guys. We'll see you next weekend. Later.